Start with the next topic of this lesson, that is topic 4.3, the strange case of Britain. So this topic deals with the unification of Britain. As you know that during the 18th century, Britain was known as the British Isles. That is, it was also fragmented. It was divided into three parts, that whole island which is above the European continent. And if you have seen the map of Europe, then you have seen that towards the western side of Europe there are two islands. One is towards the eastern side, which is a larger one, which is known as Britain at that time, or British Isles, and now presently it is known as United Kingdom. And toward the western side is a smaller island which is known as Ireland. So in this topic we are going to study that how the British Isles have changed into united into the Great Britain, which is now known as United Kingdom, and which include present four states, that is England at the middle, then towards the northern that is the Scotland, and towards the south is the Wales, and the northern part of the Ireland. So these four states form United Kingdom. So how this United Kingdom which we know today came into being. So this we are going to study. So the unification of Britain was altogether completely different from the unification of the other big countries of Europe, like the Revolution of France, which ultimately gave a new idea, that is emergence of a nation state. And then second is Germany, in which with the help of monarch and with the help of waging war, they annexed the other smaller territories where same type of population was living and speaking the same language, and hence formed a big nation under the centralized policy, which ultimately changed into unification of Germany, and then the unification of Italy, which was also done with the help of a monarch and his wise minister, that is the Count Cavour, and his diplomatic policy ultimately helped the colonial rulers to flee from his country, and all the seven states were merged and were formed into Italy, that is unification of Italy. But the unification of Britain was completely different. It was altogether different from this, because there was no revolution by the people as it was there in France for the change of government. Monarchical rule was there, but there was also a parliament in England, in which the members of the parliament were elected by its own people. The monarchs were only formed the nominal head, whereas the real power was with the elected representatives of the people with the parliament. So now I'm going to start with the reading. Uh, okay, the model of the nation or the nation state. Some scholars have argued of Great Britain. In Britain, the formation of the nation state was not the result of a sudden upheaval or revolution. It was the result of a long drawn out process. There was no British nation prior to the 18th century. The primary identities of the people who inhabited the British Isles were ethnic ones, means they were having their own culture, identity, and they were coming from their different cultural backgrounds, such as who live in Scotland, they were known as Scottish. Those who were living in England, they were known as English people, and those who were living in Wales, they were known as Welsh, and the people of Ireland were known as Irish. All were having their own cultural identity and language and ethnicity, which makes them a different people. All of these ethnic groups had their own cultural and political traditions, but as the English nation steadily grew in wealth, importance, and power, because first of all, England was the state, or you can say, England was the country which experienced uh, the industrial revolution during the 16th century, and ultimately with the beginning of the industries, establishment of the industries in England became a very powerful country, and soon it became an imperialistic country also, because it was ruled by a monarch, and monarchs are also imperialist because they believe in expansion of their territories. So they started annexing the less powerful countries for their own profit, or for getting more resources, and for establishing their domination. But as the English nation steadily grew in wealth, importance, and power, it was able to extend its influence over the nations of the islands. The English Parliament, which had seized power, means which has forcibly taken power from the monarchy in 1688, at the end of a protracted conflict, means a very long conflict which goes on between the parliament, that is the elected representatives of the people, and the hereditary form of government, that is a monarchy. So there was a conflict going started after 16th century, after the industrial revolution, when the parliament, the people, when the industrialists who had established industry, they became very wealthy due to the enormous wealth and profit they had created due to industrialization and trading with their colonial countries. Uh, the act of okay, then uh, at the end of a At the end of a protracted conflict was the instrument through which a nation state with England at its center came to be forged. The Act of Union. So, after that, England was the main capital, or you can say it was the main state, and then it was and then the other states were merged in it, and England was the dominant one, means it became the capital of United Kingdom. The Act of Union 1707 between England and Scotland, that resulted in the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain, means when the act through the Act of Union in 1707, Scotland was merged with England, and then it resulted in the formation of a Great Britain. In effective uh, in effect, that England was able to impose its influence on Scotland. Now, England, because it was a dominant country, it started imposing its influence over Scotland. The growth of a British identity meant that Scotland's distinctive culture and political instruments were systematically suppressed. The uh, the Catholic that inhabited the Scottish Highlands suffered terrible repression, because England is a Protestant country, and so there is a constant conflict goes on between the two sects of the Christianity, that is Catholics and Protestants. Protestantism was started by Martin Luther, who started the Reformation movement, during the Reformation movement, in which he revealed the corruption and the uh, truth of the uh, clergy people, that they were living a lavish life, and they were telling the people to live a simple life. So after the exposing of the life of the clergymen, it ultimately led to the Protestantism, that is protest started by the common people against the Catholicism, and finally it led to a new sect in the Christianity, that is Protestantism. So because England also is a Protestant country, so it started suppressing the Catholics of the Scottish people, and also uh, uh, their means dominating their culture by imposing their English culture on the Scottish people and banning their culture. The Catholics that inhabited were suffered terribly repression whenever they attempted to assert their independence. The Scottish Highlanders means those who were landed aristocracy who were living in Scotland, were forbidden. They were restricted to speak their own Gaelic language, wear national dress, and large number were forcibly driven out of their homeland. आयरलैंड suffered a similar fate. वैसे ही उनको भी किस्मत मिली आयरलैंड को when Ireland was annexed. Then again the Catholics who were in majority in the Ireland, they were suppressed a lot. They were repressed. They were crushed by the Protestant Englishmen. It was a country deeply divided into between Catholics and Protestants. The English helped the Protestants of Ireland to establish their dominance over largely Catholic country. Means the Protestants who were living in Ireland, they were in minority. But when the England um, annexed it, then it made the Protestants who were in minority. The people of England favored the minority group of people that were the Protestants, and in this way they gained power to crush the majority people living in Ireland, that is Catholics. Uh, okay. Catholic revolt against British dominance were suppressed. Catholics also revolted, but they were suppressed. After a failed revolt led by Wolfe Tone and his United Irishmen 1798, Ireland was forcibly incorporated, means it was merged into the United Kingdom in 1801. A new British nation was forged through the propagation of a dominant English culture. The symbols of the new Britain, the British flag, Union Jack, that is known as Union Jack, the national anthem God Save Our King, Noble King, the English language were actively promoted, and the older nations survived only as subordinate partners in this union. So in this way, this unification of Britain is completed.